There are a lot of stereotypes that apply to motorcycle riders. You know, you've got the outlaw type who's cruising the country on his Harley Davidson, raising hell wherever he goes. Or else maybe you've got the adrenaline junkie racer type who's out carving his way around corners, up through canyons, dragging a knee on his leader bike. And there's even the nerdy type who was probably able to pull apart a postie bike and fix it when he was 8 years old. None of those stereotypes apply to me at all. I'm far from a rebel for a start. Let's be honest here, I'm a 37-year-old college-educated white guy who lives in the suburbs of a small Australian city. I am as far from a rebel as you can get. To be honest, I'm kind of the very definition of working for the man, but that's alright. And as for being some corner-carving, knee-dragging lunatic, well, being as highly strung and anxious as I am, that's not really for me either. I am really quite a cautious person at times, and I guess I've gotten to that point of my life where I'm sort of aware of my own mortality and would like to remain alive for as long as is possible. As for being the type who's able to fix bikes and dismantle them and all that, well, that definitely doesn't apply to me. I can just about do an oil change and clean and lube my chain. Anything beyond that, I'm afraid it's off to the garage with me. So yeah, when it comes to the stereotypes I suppose that people have about motorcycles, I'm a bad fit for all of them. But here's the thing. Because I am a bad fit for all of those stereotypes, I reckon I am actually the typical motorcycle rider. At least in this day and age I am. Fact is, the only barrier to entry to being a motorcycle rider is money. So if you have enough disposable income, or if your credit score is good enough to finance one, then boom, you're in. Unless you're trying to finance a Harley Davidson, then you just need to be able to draw an X on the page with the crayon they give you. Anyway, most Australian bikers, it's a hobby. It's not their sole means of transport, it's something they do because they enjoy doing it, because they're able to do it, and because they can afford to do it. It's the same in pretty much every other wealthy Western country like the US or the UK or Germany or wherever. I have a car, and to be perfectly frank, if I only had the bike, it would be kind of problematic. It'd be kind of difficult to, for example, do a lot of shopping or take my dog to the beach. So I need a car. So why have the bike? Like, let's be honest here, it ain't cheap and it could be viewed as a frivolous luxury. Well, yeah, but it's awesome. And I am totally lucky enough to be in a position where I can afford to run a bike and a car and not have to worry about the money. Am I a lucky boy? Pure accident of birth, but there you go. I've only been riding, I suppose, about 18 months, and I really only developed an interest in motorcycles in the last few years. And how that happened was, well, I suppose like a lot of people my age, it was because of Ewan McGregor and Charlie Boorman. I remember devouring Long Way Round on a box set which I'd borrowed off of a friend once, and I'd not seen it when it came out. And I was enthralled. I just thought that two blokes heading off on motorcycles and basically going around the world was pretty much the coolest damn thing it was possible to do. And that got me hooked. Then I started looking up motorcycles on YouTube, so I got into all the moto vloggers and things like that that are on YouTube, which ultimately led me to even having a fist of this moto vlogging crack myself. Still waiting to hit 1 million subs, but we'll get there, people. So I got my license, and I can honestly say it is one of the best things I have ever done. The thing about going anywhere on a motorcycle is, it's harder. They're a lot more difficult to ride. They require a lot more effort, a lot more concentration, And you can't just get on a bike and zone out and listen to the radio and, you know, when you get somewhere in your car and you don't even remember getting there. You know, that doesn't happen on a bike. You have to be on it all the time. And because of that, it clears your head of all of the other stuff that's in there. Which means that for a little while, I can forget about the giant 3-ringed shit show that is my life. It's bloody fantastic. And on a motorbike, you remember every journey. Again, like I said about cars earlier, half the time you just go somewhere and you forget even driving there. On the motorbike though, everything becomes an event. About a year ago, I was driving between Alice Springs in the Northern Territory where I used to live and a little town called Tennant Creek, which is 500 km north of Alice. I was working there for a few weeks and I was going up and down every weekend, and one Sunday I woke up and I was like, screw it, I'm taking the bike. It was 40 bloody degrees, December, which is the height of summer in Australia. And in hindsight, I was completely mental. So I set off, link to the video for it is in the description by the way, and when I got there, I was exhausted, I was sore, and I had sweated out about 10 kilos. But the sense of achievement was amazing. The sense that I'd actually done something that most people in this country will never do. Most people have never done a drive like that in their car, let alone on a 320cc Japanese motorcycle. So, go me, basically. And I still remember the feelings of the road surface coming through my handlebars, the smell of all the dead roos and dead cows I'd encounter at the side of the road. I'd remember the look on people's faces when they came up and asked me where I was going and looked in bemusement, frankly, at this mad Irish bastard who was doing a 500-kilometer ride on a 40-degree day across the outback. Maybe I just like to do things the hard way. Maybe it's just a way of challenging myself, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I'm no outlaw. I'm no knee-dragging badass, and I can barely change the oil by myself. So I guess I'm in it for the adventure. So here's to motorcycles, lads, and to the places they take us. Good luck.